What's up everyone? This is the Meraki Espresso Machine, and on paper this thing looks really interesting. So I'm going to go through what features it's got, what kind of build quality it's got. The real question is, should you guys back this on Kickstarter? Because it's going live in August. Now this machine is a prototype, so it's not going to be the same as the production model that you guys would get from the Kickstarter campaign, but it's a really close prototype. I mean, there's some things that need to be fiddled with, there's some things that need to be improved, but overall, this is a working machine. So this was sent to me by Meraki. They sent out a few prototypes to a few different content creators. They wanted us to try them, test them, see what they were like, and give them some feedback, and that's what I'm going to do. I've had this machine for quite literally 24 hours, and I just put it onto my coffee dock here. So on paper, and actually I have a lot of paper. This thing, number one, the big one is it's got a dual boiler system, right? So dual boiler design with dual PID control, right? So you can simultaneously pull your shot and steam milk, which is pretty awesome. And PID for both, that's unheard of for something like this. Also, it's got a rotary pump, right? So that's going to give you more stable control. And rotary pumps, generally speaking, are really expensive to manufacture. So being able to put one into this machine is amazing. Dual independent scales. So we've got one here and one here, right? So you've got an extraction scale and you've got a grinder scale. That's really cool. I don't have to faff around with scales anymore, although I have too many scales that I care to admit, but that's pretty cool to be able to integrate them both into this. It's got coffee sense technology, which is it a gimmick? I don't know. Basically, the idea is that you've got an RFID reader on the top. You get a bag of beans that have partnered with Meraki so that they kind of give you recommendations on what kind of grind that the beans should have, what kind of temperatures you should be running. This really needs a bit more of an uptake across the world when it comes to roasters, but a nice idea. I really like that it's there. And I think probably one of the questions you're going to ask is, what's the build quality like? It looks like it's made out of plastic, and it is. It's made out of ABS plastic, but there are quite a few, metal parts around the place. There is some really thoughtful design that's gone into this. So I think for someone that's looking to get, a kind of home pro machine or something along those lines, this should really be a consideration. All right, so you open the box, right? And there's a few things that it comes with. We've got a tamper, which is actually a really nice tamper. It's a flat base, feels really solid, it's heavy. There's a distributor. Again, it's well made, feels heavy. It's a distributor. Not much more to say on that one. And then you've got your portafilter. Now, earlier iterations of these prototypes came with a plastic handle. I saw a video of a home cafe by Charlie where the handle completely broke off. Mine's wood, and that's a good thing because they've gone more down the conventional route of I can't get the handle off. There we go. It's a conventional wood handle. So if we look at it there, basically all wood, solid wood, and the screw is in the correct place. The screw is actually in the handle rather than in the portafilter head. Portafilter itself is pretty interesting. It feels really good. It's very heavy, but it's got, number one, its own little kind of Meraki branded basket in there. It's an 18-gram basket, and this comes off. So we've got a kind of 2-in-1 system going here. So we've got a bottomless and we've got our spouts as well, which kind of just clips on there. So that feels really nice. It's a 58mm basket as well. So pop the basket out, and I'm going to take one of my VST baskets and pop it in. So yep, you can switch out baskets. It also comes with this tamper stand station. It's quite plasticky and probably not my favorite thing. Look, it's nice that they included it. It's thoughtful, but not the best quality. Onto the espresso machine itself. First thing you're going to notice is this thing is pretty cool looking. The design language of typical espresso machines is sort of boxy. Then you've got Sage or Breville. They've got kind of their own design language. This thing stands out and it looks great. I really like the look of this thing. It's sort of a statement piece when you put it on your coffee bar. Well, there's a few main parts to it, right? So you've got your water tank in at the back, you've got your grinder, you've got your group, and then you've got your steam drip tray. Now, yes, it is plastic. I mean, there's quite a lot of plastic on it, but things that really need to be metal are metal. So you've got a metal drip tray, metal scales, metal group. There's an deionizer in the grinder, which is pretty handy. Metal catch cup, metal steam wand, which actually is pretty cool, that rotates around, but everything else pretty much is plastic. Screen is plastic, body's plastic. It's ABS plastic, but at the same time it's plastic. At the price point that they're selling this, I think that's okay. Feels pretty durable at the moment. There's some parts that obviously are not, but this is a prototype machine. So there's some parts that will absolutely need refinement, but out of the box, I'm really impressed with the build quality of this thing. Nothing kind of moves around, everything's pretty solid. The steam arm's pretty good, scales feel solid. Overall, not bad at all. Good stuff, Meraki. All right, what's next? So like I said, I've had this machine for 24 hours. I haven't really had time to kind of get used to it or play around with it. I did grind some beans. Let's compare it to the fellow Opus that's sitting behind me, and it's giving it a run for its money. In fact, I actually think this is probably a step above, if not a couple of steps above, the fellow Opus. And that's a really good sign to start off with. It was co-developed by Timemore, 48mm conical burr. When it comes to, I guess, you know, the price point that it's going to be at, that's realistically what you'd expect. That's a $200 grinder. If you're American, if you're Irish, it's, I can't remember how much I paid for it. Anyway, it lives up to the fellow Opus, at least, if not exceeds it. Water tank, 2 liters, I think, holds plenty of water. The steam wand, which is a cool touch steam wand, which is really nice, has a temperature sensor right at the bottom of it. So that'll go into the milk and it'll actually read out your temperature of the milk as you're steaming. So you can kind of stop it when you get to your desired temperature, and that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to try that thing out later on today. And then, of course, you've got this screen at the top, which is going to give you all the information and readouts of what's going on with your extraction. I'm pretty excited to do a deep dive today into kind of all the features that it's got and get to know this machine. I've just got a kilo of beans, so I'm just going to make all the espresso. And I'm going to come back to you guys with a proper, more in-depth video based on this machine. So stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't. Damn, it looks good. All right, what have I forgotten to tell you? One of the coolest features that I found out by pure accident was with the bean hopper, if you take it off, there's actually these little doors at the bottom which essentially stop the beans from falling out, which I think is absolutely amazing. And then you can put it back on, and as you click it back into place, those doors open, allowing the beans going through. That is pretty cool. That's really thoughtful. They really seem to have designed this with coffee lovers in mind, with kind of what we want on a day-to-day basis, and even more than we could actually expect. I'm going to do a deep dive with this machine over the next couple of days. I'm going to come back to you with a more detailed review. But for now, this is the Meraki Espresso Machine. Hope you enjoyed this little teaser video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.